Eric and Charlotte, it is cold, a little bit snowy, and definitely slick out here. And the Streets Division says it's going to stay that way overnight. And that's why they are out in full force to make sure we're all safe. Well, Eric and Charlotte, on one hand, you have a developer that believes their project is going to really enhance State Street. On the other hand, you have a small business owner that just wants to keep their tradition going. Charlotte 131 West Wilson Street has been completely evacuated again. For the people that call this place home, they're running out of patience and time. Anisha DeHall says that she was just parking her car at her home behind me right here for the night when panic set in as a man pointed a gun at her and eventually stole her car. We all know by now that 6 feet apart keeps you safe during a pandemic, but today 6 feet apart meant the difference between life and death for one man. Former state Supreme Court Justice Michael Gableman is getting ready to submit his final report for the Republicans' 2020 election investigation. In more local news tonight, just about everyone took up some sort of hobby at the beginning of the pandemic, while one local woman spent the start of the quarantine tackling a lifelong dream. Now, 2 years later, it's about to become a reality. Christina Laurie has more. Last night's fire wasn't the only fire that the Red Cross is responding to this year, and it probably will not be the last. Officials say they need much more help. Next tonight at 10 on Tuesday, an important new weather satellite will be sent into space from Cape Canaveral. As Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti explains, meteorologists right here in Madison will be watching closely and for good reason. Eric and Charlotte, it is cold, a little bit snowy, and definitely slick out here. And the Streets Division says it's going to stay that way overnight. And that's why they are out in full force to make sure we're all safe. It's been a long few days for Brian Johnson and his crew.
We're going to keep going and be ready for Thursday when that storm comes too, and hope for an early spring. Let's hope that groundhog was right, you know?
Johnson is the spokesperson for the City of Madison's Street Division team, whose 32 trucks in total have been picking up salt, dropping it down, and returning for more around the clock for the past 2 days.
This ice stuff is something that's just so unpleasant to deal with. It makes everything difficult because it's so little that you can do with it.
Johnson says freezing rain is really altogether not that rare here in Madison, but this most recent storm has been pretty challenging.
Especially this was such a long duration event too. It just sort of kept drizzling and coming in waves. So what our big concern was is that putting salt down might take care of it, but if it just rains or freezing rains on top of it, it could refreeze.
Tonight, Johnson expects more of the same weather-wise, so his crew's going to continue their all-out effort. And with tough driving conditions expected, he's preaching caution to anyone who needs to be out on the roadway.
Be slow, be patient, stay alert, put your phone away.
And like you heard at the top of the show, Johnson is expecting this to be a normal day of driving tomorrow, but he wanted to make sure everyone knows to please take extra caution when you are driving.